It's time for the Sports Report with your host, Mike Prince. For scores, updates, and highlights, Waller County area, the Sports Report is your one-stop spot. And now let us join in today's program. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and I have with me the head track coach for the women, Coach Angela Williams. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing wonderful today.
All right. I thank you for the time allowed for us to introduce you to our listening audience and just let people know about the long, rich history that has been, or synonymous, I should say, with Prairie View A&M University. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up with this purple and gold on you.
I ended up with this purple and gold through a coworker. I was actually teaching in Fort Bend at Thurgood Marshall High School. I was assistant track coach there, and I taught health and physical education. But I got pregnant with my second child, and when I'm pregnant, I can't work. So I was out on disability for the entire pregnancy, and also the head coach and I didn't kind of jive too well. So I was not coaching when I came back, and my coworker, who was a volleyball coach, said, "You are too good of a coach for even the high school level. You need to be on a collegiate level." But I was so happy. I was comfortable where I was teaching. It wasn't broken. So she said, "Let me have your resume." I was like, "I'm not looking for a job." And I gave it to her anyway because she was a little persistent. And I was just finishing up my master's in counseling here at Prairie View. And so they got my resume, and Charles was the AD at the time, and the department head at the time in Human Performance both got together, and they offered me the coaching and teaching position, as it was a dual position. And so they worked it out the way that I wanted it worked out. And so in 2007, I started here with the track program.
Well, it's always good when it works out, especially in your favor, right?
In my favor.
Well,
yes.
when you come and you can't even begin to talk about PV relays, tracks without the legacies that have been there. What was it like for you to transition through and hear all that backlash in the beginning?
Well, for me, it wasn't a big deal because I am a very well-established athlete. I was in my own right, and I came from the highest level of track and field. So it wasn't anything that I didn't feel nervous about stepping into the position, because at the time that I stepped into the position, the team wasn't doing very well and had not done well for about 21 years. And so when I looked at, after they came after me, I looked at what was going on, and I had to kind of take a step back because I noticed that there had not been anything happening since the early 80s as far as the young ladies competing well, finishing in the top 3 in the SWAC competition, indoor, outdoor, or even cross country. So Ms. Jacket had done an excellent job with the female athletes that she had here in her time. And I don't know what happened within the span of the 80s to 2000, but that didn't matter to me. My focus was to get this program back to the level or beyond where it was. That's my goal.
Now, that's what some people fail to see, what opportunity is all about. Mm-hmm. It's easy to walk into a situation that has been dubbed successful, mm-hmm. that has been dubbed on point, mm-hmm. and you're coming in and you're just filling gaps. But now you have actually full creative reign. Yeah. You can go in and recruit the type of athlete that you can relate to and mold in your form of thinking. And so now you get to put your own signature on here, and you get to nurse this baby into full health and understand, like, and, you know, and the competitor in you step like, you're like, I did that, so and that's that good thing. But look, when you talk about when you've had a certain level of success, number one, for me, your excuses, they don't cut it with me. Your sob stories, they don't cut it with me. Your woulda, coulda, shouldas, they don't cut it with me. And so when you're recruiting an athlete to fit your mold, what is that you look for in an athlete?
The first thing I discuss with the athlete is whether they want to come to Prairie View, because a HBCU is a different beast than a PWI, and they have to really want to be at an HBCU. they have to understand the culture of an HBCU. And if once I get through that part and they say yes, they want to be a part of this program because they've paid attention to it, whatever else, the next thing I go into is the relationship that recruit and myself will have to deal with. And so they have to be comfortable with me and I have to be comfortable with them. Then I go through a series of workouts that I may put you through: fall training, in-season training. I go over the season going from 6 weeks as a high schooler to a whole year. Pretty much, you start training in September. So going back to my recruiting, I really break it down to them. And I get a feel for them. I got to meet you. Like, I have a recruit coming in, scheduling her hotel right now. She actually sought me out.
Okay.
And she's a good athlete. I have a lot of them that come after me, but they're okay. They're mediocre. This child can go to Texas A&M, Baylor, anywhere. She doesn't want any other phone calls.
And she wants to
be here with me. I went to the home visit. Wonderful atmosphere. It's her and her mom. Wonderful student, 3.0 GPA and above. And I look at all these things because I tell them it's not just about athletics. You have to be coming to school to get a degree, because at the end of the day, athletics is not going to take you where you want to get to. Totally. You must have it all. Same as I tell my son. He's 14, but he's 6'6", and he's a good basketball player. So everybody's like, the pros are pros. He's 14. That may never come. His teacher just called. That has to be his number one priority. And he's an AB honor roll student in AP classes. He's an excellent student. But I've drilled that in him, that your education is first and foremost. Because you can lose everything that you have, your limbs and everything else. But as long as you have your mind, you can take care of everything that you need to take care of.
Being a product of this university, Prairie View, and the HBCU system, if anything else was pushed toward the student athlete in particular, was you got to graduate.
Yeah.
You've got to graduate, because that's what levels the playing field, even though the playing field is not still level. You understand? But it gives you a fighting chance to get out there and create your opportunities, because opportunities are not given to some. No. Some have to create their opportunities. And that's, for me, what makes athletics and life so parallel, because you can't cry and complain about what you don't have or what you've been dished out. You work with what you got, and then you make the most of what you got, and then the things that come after that is because you're thankful. And I'm about to go scripture on you now over a few things, and then he turns it into multiple things. It's how you deal with what you got. Now, you talk about athletes seeking to want to come to be a part of this university, or even be a part of your legacy, because you're no slouch when it comes to athletics, and you've been very modest about everything. So for those who might not know who Angela Williams is, go ahead and give us your pedigree, if you will.
Well, I started running at age 10, and actually I realized at about 12 that I was an athlete. And by 14, most high schools, most colleges were already on me, and it wasn't as hard back then as it is now for college coaches to approach you. And when I graduated high school, I was the #1 female sprinter in the nation, which was awesome. I started making international teams. I was born in Trinidad, and the Trinidad Association found out about me because their top sprinter, I was beating her at 16. And she said, "You're Trini?" And I said, "Yeah." And she got the association to start bringing me to Trinidad to meet, and so I was winning and things like that. And so I started functioning, just competing for Trinidad, although I've lived here since I was nine years old, and made my first Olympic team at 18, 7th on the 4x1 relay. Made my second Olympic team my senior year of college. I was 23, and after I graduated from Seton Hall, I was a professional athlete from 89 until I retired in 96. Had a couple of injuries, went to the 92 Olympic trials, got injured at the trials, missed making the finals by one person in the 200, which was devastating. Took a break from it, went to Seton Hall, coached for a year. started training again to get ready for 96. Ruptured my Achilles in 94. Tore my knee up in 95. Trained for 6 months. And went to the Atlanta trials and missed making the finals again by one person. And I was 31 at that time. And I said, you know what? I have had a and I was competing for the U.S. starting in 91. I started competing for the U.S. And I actually was on a world record breaking 4x200 meter relay team in 93 for the U.S. I don't know if that record still stands. It was an indoor record. And I ended up in 91, 9th in the world in the 200 meters. So I had an excellent track and field career, and at 31 I said it's time to retire. I had pretty much done everything that I wanted to do outside of getting a medal, and there are things that you have to do to get a medal, and those were things that I wasn't willing to do, because there's life after track and field, and I'm enjoying a wonderful life after track and field.
Now, without you saying much, or you suggesting that some people stretch the normal capabilities of their body with potential aid in order to get to a next level?
Yes.
Okay, I said that without saying that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm here with Coach Angela Williams, head track coach for the Lady Panthers for the Prairie University. Representing quite well. Now, you made a difference. A lot of people, when they see track, they just see people running. Mm-hmm. They're not really understanding the technique, not even understand that there are actually two seasons. There's an indoor season and an outdoor season. What's the difference I know times are different because they have outdoor records and indoor, but what's the main difference between
the main difference is, well, there's a few differences. Indoor, there's no ventilation really, so you really have to get used to running in an indoor facility. If you're running a 200 meters, you're running a full lap indoor versus outdoor. It's a half a lap. The curves are wider outdoor, where it's tighter indoor. The season for indoor on this part of the country is shorter because we're an outdoor climate area. If it were in New York, the indoor season has started in November. And so you have a longer time to compete on those shorter tracks and get used to it and get better. Indoor, the times, really when they convert them, it's about the same as outdoor. To qualify for NCs, you got to be running 52 indoor. To qualify for NCs outdoor, you got to be running 52 in the 400. So the times really don't change that much, except for there's no 100 meters indoor. There's a 60 meters. You got to be running 7:32 or better in the 60 meters, which equates to about an 11:3 in the 100 outdoor. So the times really don't change that much. It's just the track is smaller and you have to just get your body used to running on an indoor facility. The issue that we run into is that we don't have an indoor facility. So you train outdoor most of the time. So the workouts have to be adjusted so that you get used to the shorter distances. It's difficult for the distance runners because if you're running a mile or 800 is 2 laps outdoor. You got to run 4 indoor. And so it's just a mental thing that you have to get used to. So what I'll do sometimes, we do have the new gym, and I'll take my distance runners in and I'll double the distance for them to run inside, just so that they get used to having to go around that track double the distance.
I'm remembering now why I play baseball and football, because I'm all that running 52 seconds, man, my lungs just started exploding just listening to that. I'm like, man, give me 52 seconds to go about 10 yards. Be all right. Now, you have a pretty, I'm looking at your schedule right here. This is some heavy stuff going on.
Yeah, my schedule when I got here, and I have to say that the administrative staff has been very accommodating to me to help me build this program. When Charles was here, I only dealt with him for 1 year, but he said, Coach, by cross country, you're out of money. We're going to get you there. Indoor, of course, we have to travel because there are no indoor tracks around here. A&M just built a track. It's about 4 years old. So there weren't very many indoor tracks, so you got to spend money, you got to travel. Outdoor, there's a lot of meets in Texas, so we can get around to Texas. I don't, because I teach and coach, I don't have the luxury to go out and do home visits and recruiting trips. as say just a full-time coach. Now next year I'll just be coaching. I'll be out of the classroom, so it's going to give me the time where I can go and do home visits with my recruits. This is the first year that I've actually gone out and done one. I'm going to do another one, and so I put together schedules where my athletes are going to be seen. We've gone up to New York. I've been able to recruit good athletes from New York. We've gone to Kansas. I've been able to recruit from Kansas. We've gone to California. I've been able to recruit from California. We've gone to Tennessee. I've been able to recruit from Tennessee. So I use my athletes as my recruiting tool because they're doing well. And it's giving the young ladies that are with me who are right at that door where A&M or Texas may look at them, but they're like, they're not running that time. They come right to me, and then they run that time within their first year. So A&M and them are looking at, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on? So the schedule that I put together, I try to get them indoor on the best tracks that I could get them on, and so that they can try to qualify for NCs. And so this year, my first meet should be at the University of Kansas. We went there last year. It was an excellent meet for our kids, and so we should be going there again this year. Texas A&M always invites us to a meet, and that's our second meet. U of H has a few meets that we'll attend, and then we got the opportunity this year for the first time. Our conference championship meet is in Birmingham. Samford University is having a meet there on the 7th of February. So I emailed the meet director and said, is there any way possible that our men and women's program could come to the meet? And he said, sure, no problem. Because in track and field, you have to be invited. You can't just say, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going there. They have to let you come to the meets. And my girls are doing well enough to where if I ask to go to a meet, they pretty much say, okay, we'll let you in.
That's all right. I'm talking with Coach Angela Williams from Prairie A&M University. You got this schedule starting off January 10th, 2014. You go to Kansas. Make sure you say hello to Dorothy for me and Toto when you get there. Click your heels and come back with the win. Why don't you? And then you'll transition. That will be the beginning of the indoor season.
That's the beginning of the indoor season.
And then you'll transition in March, start going outdoor. Now, do you use the same athletes for your indoor and outdoor?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Okay, and approximately how many are on your roster right now?
Right now on my roster, I have 32. 32. I started off with about 48, and
you ran them off.
Literally.
I didn't sign up for all of this.
Yes.
I'll tell you a story. When I'm from St. Louis, and the first time we had baseball practice in '88, we had the loop. They call it the loop. They sent us on the loop the first time, and we're running around this joke. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I don't run. We run and run. I was like, oh no, wait a minute. Did I sign with the wrong school to come? So I do understand when they said they ran them off, but you make the adjustments, and that's one thing about it. If it's something that you desire to do, you adjust to do what needs to be done to get the job done. So, we're excited about what you're doing. You said if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. I'm looking at your motto here, and that's always exceptional. Well, look, I want to thank you for allowing us to come in. You are an extremely busy woman. Phone been jumping off the hook, and we're going to adjust all that. Make sure if it's okay with you, Coach, from time to time, we'll check in with you.
Yes,
get a feel what's going on. So we just want to make sure that the people know that there are 18 sports on the campus of Prairie View A&M University. That's how they became NCAA Division I, because of track and field, because of bowling, because of all the other sports that we like to consider non-revenue sports. But revenue is flowing. It may trickle, but it does find its places. So we thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add before we?
Well, one of the things that I'd like to do now, a lot of my young ladies go out and do community service with other organizations on campus. One of the things that I'd like to do is adopt an organization, my girls, where we can do community service with that organization. So that's the next step for me.
Well, I'm your man that you need to be talking to because I happen to pastor a church here in the community.
All right.
And you can adopt the church and the pastor. And you And we'll talk about that part.
We'll talk about that part.
Yeah, by all means, that's what, for me, a lot of people don't understand how could you live in such a small rural community. This small rural community literally saved my life. It made a difference for me. I came from the hustle and bustle of the streets of St. Louis, and one thing about this place, either you love it or you hate it. You can't wait to get here, and if you don't like it, you can't wait to get away. You know, so it's been a perfect match for me, and which is why we do what we do here at the Open Mic. I'm walking distance from the campus.
Yes, you are.
And we just take care of what we do, and we just love on our people from Prairie View, and thank you. We thank you so much for your opportunity, for the opportunity to sit and speak with you. I know you're a busy woman, and we're going to make sure that people know that there are some Angela Williams walking around, not on the campus of Prairie View, but throughout this community, throughout this nation. Because one thing that I've had a vision, I'm about to get on the soapbox for 1 minute, and I'm going to let you go. There are some dynamic things that happen at HBCUs, more than what the naked eye can see. And my job, part of my quest, is to make sure that people know about that. Sitting down with people such as yourself. Thank you so much. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We're thanking our guest again, Miss Angela Williams from the Lady Panthers of Prairie View. Until the next time, God bless, and we'll see you on the other side. The Sports Report is a production of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, located in Prairie View, Texas. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network is the official voice of Waller County athletics.